Good evening, Nigerians. How are you in your different homes and how are you doing? I want to plead with the audience to please give me a little bit of time to talk to you as a Nigerian and as Nigerians. I have taken my time to listen to the video and the message which had been passed severally by a man who is operating a channel on YouTube who called the name of the channel Refresh Nigeria. While I agree completely with his tag, Refresh Nigeria, I do not agree with anything that he has said with respect to the case in court. When the case is in court, one expects every matured mind to strictly adhere to the concept of fairness to both the respondents and the petitioners. In this case, which is between Peter Obi, the Labour Party, the People's Democratic Party, and the INEC, the APC, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One would have expected that the obedience, as they call themselves, would allow the case in court to run its full course by not making any statements that will be subjudiced to the letters and words of the case in court. But what we see every day on social media is the obedience, including the man who is operating this Refresh Nigeria channel on YouTube, is trying to cast aspersion on the person or persons of the justices of the judiciary, trying to put them under tension, trying to put them on the spot, and trying to hoodwink the judiciary to giving what they term, according to them, as justice. What is justice? Does it mean when the judgment favors Peter Obi or goes against Peter Obi? I want Refresh Nigeria to answer this question. What he meant by justice. Because justice is a relative coinage. Justice means when a case is in court and the justices or the judge in this case or in any case take a look at the merit of the case and give judgment according to the facts and evidence presented. The fact that A or B or the petitioner or the respondents have presented evidence or loose of evidence does not guarantee that either of them are going to triumph in the case. We have seen very much rubbish loose of evidence before presented in court. And we have seen just only one evidence that has rubbished all the avalanche of evidences that were presented by the either parties or the other party. I am not going to talk politics here. I am a good student of history, and I base my discussions and debates on facts and figures. I'm a scientist. I don't deal with rhetorics, hearsay, rumor mongering. I treat issues dispassionately to accommodate varied interest and ensure that everything is done according to the facts of the case. As a result of this, I'm not going to make any specific comments. I am not going to say that this judgment will favor A or B. But I will say to any rational mind that Nigeria belongs to all of us. I am a Nigerian. I was born, bred, and tutored in this country. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than myself. I worked as a Nigerian. I worked in Nigeria. I do not hold any other passport other than the passports of Nigeria. So I believe in the Nigerian project. And I believe that there's only one thing that we cannot buy from any market, and that is experience and competence. And among the candidates who contested in this last presidential election, I know who is more competent. I know who I can concretely attest to what he has done. And I know who is fictional in his analysis. What we should do at most times is never to try to impinge on other people's right of debate. Let us try as much as possible to ensure that we allow the judiciary to do their jobs. What is the meaning of hashtag the eyes on the judiciary? Nigerian judiciary is one of the best in Africa. I stand to be corrected. Let anyone come out and say Nigerian judiciary is not one of the best. When you cite the case of Ahmed Lawan, go into the case and read into the case and the judgment of the Supreme Court before you start making comments. One thing I want us to understand is that we do not go to Europe to tell the Europeans what to do in their countries. So how come the Europeans who are only requested to come to Nigeria and observe our elections will now be making judgments? And you want the court to base its judgment on the reports of the European Union. We were all in that election. We voted in that election. We monitored the election. We can tell the story of that election. And we can say who won the election. But I'm not going to say that here. We can talk about the elections from here till eternity. And we can tell you why a particular candidate did not win that election. And we can say why a particular candidate won the election. We can give reasons, we can adduce reasons for the candidates that won the election. And we can adduce reasons equally to the candidate that lost the election. So, what is the fuse about? You are merely punishing yourself if you are discussing the case in court. Because when the judgment comes against your expectations, you will have enjoyed a particular part of your life or your system or the ecosystem in your body. So, my brother, refresh Nigeria. Stop disturbing your minds. Allow the judiciary to do their work. I am sure our justices will do their jobs and will make judgments according to the facts of the matter, not sentiments. Because if we begin to say, let's go into the facts, you say that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, actually forfeited monies due to narcotics or drugs. And that was even the conviction. Let's assume he was convicted. Let's assume so. Let's assume, yes, he had conviction. Does the tribunal has the mandate to try Asiwaju for criminal offenses? Does the tribunal has the mandate to sentence Asiwaju for narcotics? That is one merit of the case that you have to look into. Another merit of the case you have to look into. Let's assume that Asiwaju did not even attend Chicago State University, and that we assume again that the certificates were forged, which were not forged. We know that. Let's assume that happened. Does the tribunal has the mandate to sentence Asiwaju to prison for perjury? It is the conventional court that has the mandate to do that. So, my brother, why are you worried? Why are you worrying yourself? Why are you disturbing yourself? You start bringing out the dictionary as if you don't sleep at night to start investigating meaning of conviction, blah, blah, all those things. You don't need all those things. What you need is to see what will come out from the case. From the election petition court up to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which is the court of the highest adjudication. And then write a postmortem or make your videos based on postmortem. Well, of course, I can understand you. You are trying to accumulate crowds and views and other incentive on your YouTube page. But let us be honest, so that at the end of the day, our conscience will not judge us in the right, in the best, in the wrongest way or wrong ways. I did not know your name, and I did not care to know your name, and I also believe you will not care to know mine. But what is important to me is Nigeria. Nigeria is more important to me than anything, because this country is the best country in the entire world. If you go to the United States of America, the United States, the state of Alaska, almost the size of Nigeria, is covered with ice. Nigeria is the only country in the world that has 7 climatic regions. And when we talk about 7 climatic regions, you know what that means. The flora and the fauna, the resources that are embedded in this country. I quite agree with you that our resources have been mismanaged in the past. But let me tell you something, my brother. You can never be a solution to a problem if you are not part of the problem. I agree with you, Asiwaju, Peter Obi, Atiku, Kwankwaso, we are all parts of this problem. You can never exonerate Peter Obi from these problems. He was in PDP for 8 years. When Peter Obi travels from Nigeria to England, or travels to the US, or travels to New Zealand, or Barbados, does that make him the citizen or the blood-related person of those places I mentioned? The fact remains that he's a Nigerian. So Peter Obi was in PDP member for 8 years. He was governor in Anambra State as both PDP and APGA. What are you talking about here? Peter Obi is PDP. PDP, I repeat. You cannot change that fact. You cannot tell me a leopard will be respotted. Why Asiwaju had been in the progressive camps since we know him as a politician in Nigeria. I don't want to go into the intrigues of the election and how the whole thing pans out, because we are all witnesses to what happened in the election. and we can for sure say this is the person that won the election. The presidential election that took place on the 25th of Saturday, 25th of February 2023 was won squarely by a particular candidate we know. And we know those candidates who have decided to deceive Nigerians, to give Nigeria a coloration that Nigeria does not intend to have. My brother, I am not saying you should not reply me because you have a right of reply. And I equally have a right of reply. But I want you to know something. That you cannot manipulate the minds of Nigerians again, because just like you are using technology, technology has informed our mind. And there's nobody that is capable of hoodwinking us again. I doubt if you can prove that Obi won this election, if you are called upon to come and prove it in the court of law. I have nothing personally against Peter Obi. I have nothing personally against Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and other candidates who participated in that election. But what I have something against is people trying to project falsehood as truth. We are leaving the scenes very soon for our children. What will our children talk of us? Refresh Nigeria. I want you to understand that Nigeria has moved on. But if you decide to stay put in your spot, nobody is going to hold you. Arabambi was pointedly correct when they said Peter Obi and Pa Adebayo both have committed treason against the Nigerian state. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was sworn in according to the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, which has not changed from today, and not even tomorrow will change. So anyone who makes a contrary statement or says that he does not recognize Asiwaju as president has committed treason. No matter how highly placed. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We are all Nigerians. And again, you cannot eat your cake and have it. For anything you want to achieve in this life, you have to work enough for it. I don't want to go into criticizing or discussing Peter Obi or discussing any of the candidates. I just want you to be placed on records that as student of history and as student of geography and as an economist, which I am, I can tell you figuratively and factually that the judiciary will give judgment, justice, according to facts and evidence available to it, not according to what you are saying, not according to your own whims and caprices, not according to your own insinuations, not according to your own projections, according to the projections of facts and figures of this case. Let no one be deceived that Nigeria belongs only to them. Nigeria belongs to all of us. And we have the right to fight for this country. And the journey to fight for Nigeria has begun. If tomorrow Asiwaju did not do very well, we are going to criticize him. We are going to mobilize against him. But for now, we are watching. And we are looking forward to other programs and policies that he's going to bring. Great leaders are not appreciated in their times. Abraham Lincoln, when he fought for the Emancipation Proclamation Act, the white Americans were very against him. But he maintained his ground, and today is regarded as the greatest president of the United States. And so many other leaders who have turned around the fortunes of their states and nations. What about Chairman Mao of China? He wasn't appreciated when it was called many despicable names. But China is gaining today from its policies. What about Kwame Nkrumah? What about Jerry Rawlings? And the likes of them. I can begin to mention as much as I can. So, young man, I am pleading with you. I am begging you. Please allow Nigeria be. Let Nigerians enjoy peace and let them understand what they stand for. Nigeria is a state and country of hope and development. Nigeria is a country that is in the interest of every one of us Nigerians. Don't let us play to the gallery. Let us state what can favor Nigerians. What can favor Nigerians? What can favor Nigeria and move Nigeria forward? If you have any case against Asiwaju and you have your facts, after the election is decided, go to the normal court and prove your case. I want to plead with you to please talk facts, state facts, and not fiction or rhetorics. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please, I want you to click on share and subscribe to this video so that when other videos come out, you will have the privilege of listening to them. Thank you so much and goodbye.